And in this video, we're featuring another no legendary, no XL team with Machamp, Walrein, and Trevenant. Walrein would require 2 legacy moves in Powder Snow and Icicle Spear. In our first match, we run into a bad lead, Giratina. We have to switch eventually after we farm up. Here, our play is to fake a payback. Hopefully, opponent shields up. Opponent doesn't shield up. So we have to bail out to our Walrein. We don't have the shield. This is just a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw won't deal a lot of damage because Walrein in the Open Ultra League is very tanky. Opponent switches out, comes back into the game with a Registeel, so we're beaten on the lead and on the switch. Here I decide to let this go because I know that our Walrein can tank 1 Focus Blast. We let loose an Earthquake. This is going to deal respectable, super effective damage upon the Registeel. Over there, we try to reach another Icicle Spear just for some chip damage. It will barely tickle opposing Registeel, but any damage will help. Oddly though, opponent deploys a shield. Opponent wasn't counting. That is unfortunate for their part because we take shield advantage. Machamp will be dealing the super effective damage with these counters. But unfortunately, we have to use a shield. Oh, opposing Registeel running an OG moveset, not running that Legacy Zap Cannon, instead opting for a Flash Cannon. We complete the farm down, we come back into the game fully loaded. We fire off this Rock Slide. Rock Slide will deal some chip damage. We bail out immediately and catch this Dragon Claw. That is beautiful. This will deal some damage over there. Giratina in the Open Ultra League is just an absolute tank, but doesn't deal exactly huge damage. Here we just use the Seed Bomb because that's all that we really need in knocking out opposing Giratina from that health range. We win CMP with the super effective Seed Bomb. This will get the final shield. Oh, Swampert opts not to and just tells its trainer it wants to go back to the Pokeball. GG to our opponent. So we were beaten on lead and on switch, but we still managed to win. Into the next match, Machamp faces off a Scrafty. This is a dominant lead for us. Scrafty opts to stay a bit. This means they are planning to catch, and we exhibit some patience and instead bank that charged move up to a Rock Slide, ready to deploy later in the game. We reach the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb will deal super effective damage upon the Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini reaches a move. This could be the Moonblast, which is why we use a shield. We are able to shield that Moonblast. Good move on our part, good shield. These water guns are dealing quite little damage because we resist that, owing to our grass typing. Seed Bomb is thrown, boom, knocks out opposing Tapu Fini, and we win switch. Scrafty comes back into the game, a little bit of counters. We reach the Seed Bomb. This will deal some chip damage onto the opposing Scrafty. In the XL iteration of the Scrafty is really so tanky. Foul play will be knocking us out, barely. Opponent quickly bails out into their Alolan Muck with that Poison Jab fast move. Cross Chop will deal some chip damage. We bail immediately into our Walrein. We reach the Icicle Spear. No need to build up to the Earthquake, in my opinion, over here. In my opinion, opposing Alolan Muck should have shielded that because can't really use the shield for their other Pokemon. Acid Spray. Again, Muck should have just gotten Mach should have just gone for the harder hitting Dark Pulse. When you're up 2 shields, don't try to bait, guys. Just use the harder hitting move. Power Up Punch will deal super effective, but it's really just not enough damage. Scrafty completes the farm down on our part. Here we're not taking any chances. We're gonna shield it up. Machamp, for all its power and muscles, isn't the tankiest even in this format. No need to fire off our charge moves. We complete the farm down. Into the next match. Machamp into a Jellicent. Horrible lead. We have to bail out to our Walrein, and the opponent opts to stay. We wonder what's in the back. Both might be weak to Walrein. We don't know. I thought they were just going to bait, so we end up letting this Shadow Ball go. Walrein goes down into the yellow. We reach the Earthquake. Bring opposing Jellicent to yellow. Here we get nervous, thinking if we're going to shield up. We do shield up. That's a good call on our part. We throw on perfect timing, not allowing opposing Jellicent to get another sneak through Hex. Jellicent opts not to shield, which completes the takeout. We win switch, opponent wins shield advantage. We reach this Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear will deal some chip damage onto the opposing Drapion. Drapion reaches a charge move. This is the crunch, which means the other move that Drapion might be running is Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb will definitely hurt, which is why we opt for a shield. We correctly make that call. Opponent bails out into a Shadow Swampert. Look at that. Menacing. Although Seed Bomb deals double super effective damage, opposing Swampert does have a shield advantage, so this is still a bit testy and dicey for us. Hydro Cannon will hurt a bit. Opposing Swampert reaches another Hydro Cannon. Of course, won't knock us out, but will bring us down to the red. Seed Bomb will grab the final shield. Over there, we try to go for another Seed Bomb. Opposing Swampert realizes it won't reach. It won't be able to farm us down, so throws that Hydro Cannon. Here we exhibit a little bit more patience by farming up, loading up a bit more energy. Why did we do that? So that when the Shadow Swampert comes back into the game, we have a Cross Chop loaded. We throw it, deal just enough damage for one more counter. GG to our opponent. We have a win streak. Into the next match, we have Machamp into a Swampert. This is an overall neutral lead. So we stay, farm up to the Cross Chop, try to catch a Hydro Cannon, but the opponent exhibits some patience. Opponent builds up to the Earthquake, throws it. We don't use a shield, which brings our Walrein into the yellow. Opponent tries to do the same trick. We don't fall for it. Instead, exhibit some patience. Reach the Earthquake, throw it, goes unshielded. We try to go for another Earthquake, and oddly, opponent overfarms too much, which allows us to reach a second Earthquake. Even better, opponent doesn't shield it, so opposing Walrein is deep into the red. We don't need to burn a shield here, so we don't. Earthquake will knock out our Walrein. We don't need to use a shield here. Icicle Spear will deal some chip damage onto our Machamp, but we complete the farm down. We have an energy lead. Charizard enters the game. Guys, you always have to bait when you see a Charizard. There's just no other way. With that wing attack buff, Charizard reaches its charge moves faster. You really have to first have an energy lead, because I already tried in a different game. With default energy status, you won't be able to outpace a Charizard into a cross chop and rock slide combo. Opponent tried to make a catch over there. Again, patience, guys, patience. You don't need to be in a hurry, especially when you understand your matchups. And it seems like opponent will try to make catches. We knock out opposing Swampert. We leave that matchup with a loaded Shadow Ball. We lose CMP, but fortunately we have our final shield. Shadow Ball will be thrown at this Charizard. More than enough to knock it out. Good game, very well played. 4 straight wins for us. Can we make it 5 straight? Machamp into a Trevenant. Horrible lead for us. We bail immediately into our Walrein. Trevenant opts to stay and throws a Seed Bomb. This will deal super effective damage, but it's okay. We could take one. Here I farm extra because I was thinking opposing Trevenant might bail out and make a catch, but it didn't. So I just throw this Icicle Spear, grab their first shield. That's beautiful. We will have to shield this because the energy on Walrein would be a waste if we don't throw the Icicle Spear onto opposing Trevenant, which we do over here. This will deal massive super effective damage or grab the final shield. Let's see what opponent opts to do. Opponent uses the final shield, which makes us wonder, what's in the back that's so afraid to face a Walrein? We make that split decision to use another shield. Thinking that for these kinds of team constructions, it's an ABC line. Switch is more important, and indeed it is. They enter the game with a Shiny Walrus. Shiny Walrus will throw an Icicle Spear and knock out our ordinary Walrus. Machamp goes back into the game. We make an instant switch into our Trevenant, facing this Shadow Swampert. Absolutely miserable matchup for Swampert, especially since it's not running Sludge Wave. This Seed Bomb is more than enough to take out opposing Shadow Swampert. Opponent comes back into the game with Shiny Walrein. We reach this Seed Bomb, which will deal super effective damage. At this point, opponent knows that it's already GG. But they probably want to go out swinging. Icicle Spear will secure the KO of our Trevenant, but there's still a lot of energy and HP on our Machamp. We reach the cross chop, and that's basically it. GG to our opponent. And we make it 5 straight over there. Beautiful. I noticed in Reddit, trainers feel like it's more difficult to climb Elo this season. I'd like to say that yes, I also feel that. Oh, look at that. We have a legendary spawn as a reward. Even better, we catch it on our first throw. Look at this. And there you go. We have another budget team. No XL, no legendary. The only drawback is that your Walrein in the middle will require 2 legacy moves in Powder Snow and Icicle Spear. Otherwise, we go back into 2000s with this team.